Truth in the darkness, shining through the light. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So high. Hey, let God's children go. Let me put on my little mustache right quick. And I know I look like a hot mess. And let my children go. Yes. This is day number 2. We're campaigning again for unconditional love for everyone, for humanity, liberate everyone, and shining the light on the truth, revealing everything. Okay? Ooh, it's frizzy, very frizzy. I know I look like a hot mess, but guess what? I don't care. And you know what? Yeah, I'm dressed like like Moses, like a masculine character. But guess what? That's considered drag because you're dressed up in costume. So let's bring all the tea out. Let's do it because this is what I'm representing right now. Nothing but the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. Yes. God loves us at all our stages of our life, and I said that before. And we got to understand that we're not above nature, the natural process of things. And I've said that also. You know what I stand for, and I made plenty of videos. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. I know I said the other day about the horseshoes as well. It's seahorses, and I know. I want you guys to be aware that I have a brain. You know, it was morning that day. But yeah, like in nature, it has shown in nature the unconditional love of God, the boundless creativity that He has for all of us. And for the ones who don't believe in a God or a higher being, just know that still nature. Nature shows that. Just look at nature. Nature is the proof. Whether you worship nature or you respect nature or observe it. It has been shown through different animals, through the seahorses, when they are the ones that carry the baby full term. With the penguins, I said that again. The penguins parenting a child, and they both are the same sex. Asexual plants, you can name it, you know it. Everyone knows. They don't want to admit it, but you're gonna know now. And I have something to say about the Uganda issue. Like, why would you take away or other people's natural rights? They were born that way. They can't help that. And it's not the Europeans' fault. It's not no European pushing the agenda of the LGBTQI plus community. No, it's always been there, whether you realize it or not. Even in African culture. And don't get me started. You know what? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna say. You know, but have heard stories about Africans sticking their penises inside the earth, Mother Earth. And you know what? Men die in that earth too. So you can say Father Earth too. Father Nature, Mother Nature. They one are the same. So that's a homosexual act in itself. Not to mention the rite of passage for young men going into older men. It don't have nothing to do with just cutting out the foreskin, even though that's a homosexual act, if you can say, because you touching on another guy's junk. So really, y'all want to try to cast your stones, but you don't look at your own sins and your own shortcomings. And I also heard about the story about them feeding their fluids, bodily fluids, to the young as part of the passage into growing it from boys to men. That's part of it. It ain't just hunting and cutting off the foreskin. So who are you to say that these people deserve to die or be killed because they desire differently from the norm, from what you consider to be the blueprint of how a man is supposed to operate in the said society? Whether it's of your land or of the international laws of the land, or what is considered universally acceptable or morally conscious. We got to understand all of these are social constructs in itself. You want to dictate to these people who they supposed to be, and if they don't comply, you want to kill them off or imprison them? That's ridiculous. You're going against nature, and you know that it's not of God. You want to blame the Europeans. Seems like to me that we're more of a threat to each other. And when I'm saying we, the African ascended people, black people, African American or African. We're trying to do better, but it's just some of y'all want to hold on to those traditions that is destroying our communities and the black community. We need to elevate and live beyond that and do better by each other and accept people's differences in respect to the next. That's all anyone's asking. That's all the LGBTQI plus is asking of everyone. And when they say plus, it's for all of humanity, not just for people who identifies with those styles or those lifestyles. That is what I'm standing for. This is what this campaign is standing for everyone. And to stop trying to pick the blame on one set of people, that we're all made differently. We're all God's children. We don't need necessarily a belief system to tell us that when we can see it with our own two eyes in nature. Yes, a belief system has helped. And this belief system has helped me to be brave enough to stand in my truth, in my entirety, not just impartial, just to keep people feeling comfortable. I need to stand in my whole truth. And God has shown me that He has loved me always. And that it was people want to put their human interpretations and projections of insecurities onto me. We got to be aware of that when we make these laws. Are we doing it to really help elevate the collective, or are we doing it just out of spite of what has happened in our past, or the repressed desires that you really have, but you choosing to reject it and you want to project that onto everyone else through the system or not of the system? We need to make sure that we are aware and being fair to everyone. And if you don't agree with them, you don't have to agree. But killing out someone for being different or being of a different tribe is ridiculous. That's why I said, save Uganda, save Sudan. We need to save these people. We need to save everyone in this world through God and the Christ consciousness. You don't necessarily have to be Christian to believe in the higher levels of thinking and vibration and evolving and evolution. Just do better by everyone. To do better by each other. That's where I stand with this. When I say God and Christ, unconditional love, that means unconditional love for everyone. To help everyone internalize who they really are and to embrace themselves rather than living in the shackles and being afraid. And then in turn causes more hate and hurt in their environments. Do we really want that, or do we really want elevation? Because I'm hoping that we want that as a collective, as a society. In every community, it don't matter what race or gender or nationality you are. We're still in this together because we're sharing this same existence, far and near. That is what God and Christ's unconditional love is. That's what God, unconditional love, the universe, higher self, whatever you identify with. And if you don't believe in any of that, you still can believe in the concept of unconditional love or love, because that's the most powerful force in this existence. No matter how much people want to try to spread their hate and violence and destruction, just know that love will conquer all. You want to condemn drags and men who dress up like girls, cross-dress, or vice versa, or girls dressed like boys, and you think there's a problem. But is it really hurting anyone? No, don't even say psychologically. Because in the end, no matter how much a person is exposed to something, they're not going to beat it if it's not already in them. I don't care how many times you're exposed to violence or drugs in your environment. It is up to you to whether you change or become part of it or adapt those characteristics or choose to be different. I chose to be different, especially a person who grew up in low-income housing and homes and environments. I still pursued my education. I still became a productive person or citizen of society. So, miss me with that if he's exposed to men just something like girls, gonna confuse a child. No, it won't. What the problem is, you don't want a child or a person to realize who they really are, to internalize fully of who they are and desiring, whether they is both or the same sex or pansexual or non-binary. We give these options to know that we are have unconditional love for them for being different, and we accept them as they are. And throughout their life, if they want to change and grow, they can. That is not confusion. God makes everything different for a reason. He makes even babies with both genitalia. But yet you people think you have the right to decide based on the physical anatomy of their child as to get of age to decide which genitalia to keep and which one to cut off, instead of allowing the child to keep it or keep both. If God made them that way, that's who they are. But you want to condemn the trans. But isn't that the same procedure, the same way of doing things? Humans surgically altering the body to fit what they think they should be? It's the same thing. Whether you trying to correct nature or not, which no one has the right to do. But it is what it is. You make it look like they're altering nature, being trans, but aren't you altering nature, correcting a hermaphrodite? You can't. You want to cast your stones, but you don't want to reflect on the stones, on the evil that you do, all for the sake of the greater good or keeping order. So what is order? I ask. Because it seems like to me, y'all want to pick which sins to uphold and which sins to reject. And the same thing goes for Sudan. Tribal genocide for religious reasons or not. Thinking you're doing God's work by hurting someone because of their different tribes. Like, this is ridiculous. And I piggyback on black community and Africans and African American, how much harm we could potentially do to ourselves. You want to condemn the Europeans, you want to condemn the Caucasians, the whites, for the colonizations and their indoctrination of the faith, of the religion of Christianity. And in some of them saying that it wasn't originally European, it was already practiced in Africa with your Yeshua, HaMashiach, Yahuwah, whatever. But I say this, you want to condemn them for the slavery and all the indoctrination, but we was already being cruel to ourselves, amongst ourselves. And it's still going on. And guess who's the ones doing most of the hurtful crimes? To who? We're doing it to ourselves, to the black community. It's not the whites. Whether it's you to my African American or African. Although I've seen and I've now experienced how we treat each other better in our own communities, our own black communities. But we got to keep that liberation front going. You want to condemn, like I said, I'm piggyback back on the drags. You want to condemn them for exposing gender adaptations and altering what is suspected of whatever gender or the opposite sex or whatever, by confusing about how they should be perceived and looked on the outside, what garments they should be wearing. But what actions are you taking to reduce gun violence? These drags are not going around shooting up kids or people. These drags are not going around creating laws to take away birthrights. And you know what I'm saying? Like contraceptives. These people are not making laws. The LGBTQIA plus community isn't making up laws to defile or reject other people's human rights, because they all but understand. We all but understand the repression and the oppression of laws, of social norms, religious norms. the damage it causes long term, the trauma that it causes when we have to reject who we really are just to fit in society, in a said society. So why is so much hate being thrown at the LGBTQ? Why is it being thrown at Ugandans, at the Sudanese for being different? I ask you, collective society, why is that? And I have hope, and I still see that we have came a long way as a collective, even as a black community, a black African American in America. We've come a long way, but we can't just stop now, because our brothers and sisters far and near need our help. We have to remind ourselves to embrace the differences that is make us all unique, in the light, in the dark, in your darkest of times, in your lightest of times, in the light and in the dark. What is that truth? Be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself. Heal from your traumas. Heal through the sin. That's why I represent when I say heal through sin. Reevaluate yourself. Is your current life working for you, or can you do something to change? That's all it's about, elevation. That's what elevation means. To reflect on yourself, to be honest with yourself, to heal from your trauma, to stop the projection of that pain onto others. Because we don't deserve it. No one deserves this, to be taking their anger out on another. We're all healing in this. Let's keep the liberation front going. Let's make it happen and show and manifest God's unconditional love in His existence every step of the way. The spirit of compassion to the forefront. Let God's love be magnified. So in turn, we can be magnified. Because God is within us and around us. That is what Jesus, that's part of His teaching that He taught us. To know that if you stand for the truth, who can be against you? God is with you still. I'm just paraphrasing, just part of the scriptures. If God for you, who could be against you? I stand for truth. Or for ones who not religious, spiritual, your high self stands with you always. Continue to elevate towards the high road while embracing your truth in the process in every step of the way. Everyone has a different path. All paths lead to the source of creation. The unconditional love, the source, the one. That's what I'm representing with my campaign. Purge, break out the matrix. Rain down high. The lies they tell have no memory of us. Human nature is in flaw. Get off your pedestal. Too much confinement will lead overload. At this rate, the purge gotta happen. Yeah. We are heaven. Thank you, God. Letting go of hate, letting go of pain, unconditional love in heaven with the spirits in heaven. We are heaven. You have never left. You have always been here. That's what my songs represent. You know, most of my songs, some of my rap, but I say it to reach out to the masses, knowing for people to know God's unconditional love throughout every stage of their life. Jesus socialized mostly with the masses, not with people that look highly upon, the self-righteous. Yes, he respected clergymen who understand that helping the people was more important than their monetary gain, than them having control over the masses. But some hated it, and that's why they killed him. Some people say he didn't die, but we're going to go with he died for us, fighting for us to reclaim our power. I'm sorry this is a long spiel, but it needs to be said. I said a lot, but it's the truth. And if you can listen to an hour, you can watch a cartoon or a movie for an hour and 30 minutes, you can listen to this wisdom. And I hope you take something from this, everyone. And continue to fight for better tomorrow for everyone. That is what I hope for. You guys have a good day or night. And remember, God loves you. So saith the Lord, the gay Lord, Moses. Well, for me, it's Gabriel. Today I'm half of a Moses. All right, let me get off here and get on my stroll. And I'm gonna try my best to keep this on. So I'm ready to take it off already, because it's hot. Bye.